Hey guys, how you doing? It's Gary here. Now, I've got a new pedalboard setup that I wanted to show you. It does include the Boss GT1. If you want to know more about how I use the Boss GT1, check out my other videos. But today, I'm using the Boss BCB60 pedalboard, which is the grey plastic rectangle that you can do what you want, put whatever you want in. It's even got routing that you can route cables through and make everything nice and tidy, and it's got inputs and outputs, so you don't have to actually plug into the pedals, but we'll see that in a minute anyway. What I'm also want to talk about is an effect pedal for vocalists, right? So if you're a guitar player and singer, you might want to use this setup. This is a really basic version of what I've seen other people do, but I don't like using a lot of vocal effects live, like that lo-fi kind of "don't want to be an American," the megaphone thing, because I think that fucks with feedback sometimes, and I don't know if bands like us at the pub level should be, pub and club, level, should be doing that, because you're going into a different PA system every night, and you don't know what the frequency response of those PA speakers are. It might be an idea for me to use a system like that with our own rig, because then I could figure it out and work it out. But to spend all that money on a vocal effects pedal for like just a couple of tunes, it's like buying a Digitech whammy just for Killing in the Name on a 4-hour set. Just seems a bit of a... I do have one of those, by the way, but I just never use it because I got the GT1. Anyway, let's dive in. I've already done 1 minute 42. Most people's gear reviews and demonstrations are about a minute long, but you know what I'm like, I like to rant. So here is the pedal board itself. You've got your GT1 here, and this has got everything I need for most gigs is right there, and I'm not going to demonstrate that specifically right now because we've done that in other videos. This is the FS7 that I've talked about in the video that relates to working the GT1 as if it was a actual stomp box, board. So you can use the FS1 to go up and down patches, and as long as your song itself doesn't require more than 1, 2, 3, 4 effects within a song, you can use the FS7 to just jump up and down patches. You could duplicate patches, and anyway, we've done that before. So the main thing we're talking about today, and by the way, this is still a work in progress, which is why this cable is needlessly long, right? And the reason it's one of these cheap ones is because it's got that springy bit in the end, so it's not going to get damaged with it being so close to here, and especially this bit as well. So, what's my signal chain? Good question, motherfuckers. So, my guitar goes straight into here, and that goes from here through the routing here into the input of the GT1, right? Now, then it comes out of the GT1 and it goes through the internal routing to here. So if I'm just using the guitar, I would literally just go guitar in here and then guitar out there. And because of the style of the pedal board, I'll try to use the L-shaped jacks to go here and here, so that if I or anybody else, it's usually somebody else, trips over something, they're not going to damage it because it's the L-shaped jack. So it'll be this is an L-shaped jack, and you want another L-shaped jack from here into your guitar. Now, because I use a Strat, right, mainly anyway, an L-shaped jack looks goofy on a Strat. So the best thing to do is use a straight one. So I use L-shaped to straight into the Strat. Okay? Now, this is where it gets interesting. Well, let me just finish this bit, because it's coming in here, it's going out of there, into here. Right? It's going into here, out of there. This cable here is literally just it's the double tipped. Again, we've talked about this before in my other videos. It's a double tip that I can use this cable and this pedal to control patches on here. I can go up and down patches, etc. So, and that's just power. I don't bother with power for this, because that seems to fuck up the polarity. You're better off. You don't need the lights. You just need to know that that's up, or that's actually back, and that's forwards with your patches, right? And you can set it to go backwards if you want. Reverse, I mean. Anyway, so another thing I want to talk about, and again, this is a work in progress, is the fact that this pedal I've been using, I used to use it quite sparingly for gigs when I wanted a little bit of auto tune, or if I wasn't sure what desk I was going to be using. You can set everything on the desk flat, and then this just gives you everything. Shape is obviously EQ, dynamics is obviously compression. All right, so let me give you a better picture of this. Right, so the input volume. Now this is a point of contention because I think that lights up green, amber, or red. If you're using something like a 58 or a 57, I use Sennheiser E858s, I think, microphones. You literally don't have to have this any higher than minimum. That's it, literally zero. I really should have plugged this in so you could see it in action, but I haven't, so, you know, there's other videos for that. I just leave the shape at 12 o'clock, dynamics at 12 o'clock, pitch. If you take it any higher than that, you really get into T-Pain territory. And that's just a really natural kind of auto-tune. And the genius thing about this pedal is that if you... Now, yeah, this is one thing I wanted to talk about. You can only really do this if you have an effects pedal like this with a stereo out, right? So you look at the back of that, outputs left/mono, right, okay? Now, if you use the left and right, if you use like, what's it called, you know, ping pong delay and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to come across an issue. But I just use the right out to inform the Helicon what key we're in. Because the brilliant thing about this pedal is that not only does it auto-tune you, right, it can figure out what key you're in. So if you play G, C, and D, it knows you're in the key of G, right? And I'm not going to entertain talking to you guys about Sweet Home Alabama, right? It's just not, I just can't be arsed with it right now. It's in D, you idiots. So if you tell this pedal what key you're in by taking an output from this, you know, this is this cable here, it goes into the input here, then you don't need to use the output on this. Right? Hopefully you can see this here. There's yeah, there we got the input, and then there's a through. Now, sorry, I'm back to face camera now. I'm not convinced that the through on this pedal is a completely transparent. So I've always felt like it coloured the tone. So this is a way around that. If you're using a pedal, and another way I do this, by the way, is if you've got a Boss TU2 and you've got two outputs on that. I haven't got one to hand right now to show you, but basically any pedal, like a delay, like a Boss DD3 or 6, whatever's got two outputs, if you're not using ping pong delay, which I think is major overkill unless you're in the studio anyway, because you're making up if you're making up 1 amp, then it's getting one signal. Ping pong delay is pointless live unless you're really going the whole hog and having two actual amps. It's not even a case of having two speaker cabs, because you need two separate amps in order to facilitate that ping pong delay thing. I've done it a couple of times myself. It really makes no difference. You still get paid the same. It's the kind of thing you do at the level where your music is your art, and not just, I mean, music is art, obviously, but when you're an originals band, I was talking to my pal Doug Jagger about this earlier on, actually. If you're trying to replicate exactly what's on your record, you might dive deeper into that kind of thing. But for the purposes of being in a covers band and just getting out there and doing it every day, you can use a second output from any pedal to, like I said earlier, inform what the TC Helicon hears with regards to like chord sequences. And you don't need to use the through function on that pedal, which I wouldn't do, because any any signal chain, adding to the signal chain in any way is going to colour your tone. And it sounds ridiculous because I'm using a digital pedal board, but honestly, like, I know that the digital pedal board does affect the quality of the tone slightly, but I've made my peace with that for that pedal board. I'm not gonna start adding extra shit to that and creating more downgrading of the original tone to the chain when it's not required. So if I don't need to put my guitar through the TC Helicon, I'm not going to do that. All you need to do is tell the TC Helicon what key you're in, what chords you're playing, and it will tune your voice to that key. It's bloody amazing. I mean, it's amazing to me because I've not really kept up with technology that much until I bought the GT1, and I was like, what else is out there that I don't know about? So anyway, yeah, like I say, I mean, all the Helix players and to a certain extent the Quad Cortex guys, well, actually, I don't even know if Quad Cortex can do all that kind of stuff, but I might have to look into it a little bit more. But I just like, you know how much I love the GT1, and I love the fact that I can now include the TC Helicon to facilitate my vocals as well in this pedalboard setup that I've got. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions, put them in the comments below. I hope this has been of use to you. It's been a bit meandering, I know that, but anyway, I'm not sponsored by anybody, so there's no need for adverts right now. My name's Gary, MexiGary on Twitch, and I'm going to be doing a lot more live streams in the near future. And you can get me on YouTube at Gary Johnston Music, which is where you're watching this probably. So, bye.